Welcome to TRS Clips, India's fastest learning portal. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell icon.
So let's begin by defining what geopolitics is.
Yeah.
So geopolitics is a sport.
Okay.
And you make up the rules as you go. It's a competition for the resources that are available to humanity on our planet or maybe beyond that, if we can reach there. So the actors are the major powers on the world stage. And the tools are diplomacy, economics, lawfare, warfare, hard power, soft power, everything you can imagine. Espionage, sabotage, terrorism, guerrilla warfare, anything you can imagine, everything you can imagine is a part of your toolkit in geopolitics. It's about realism. It's about realpolitik. There is no place for idealism in this. You have to know what your national interest is. You need to have a clearly defined set of objectives and a clearly defined doctrine about how you want to achieve those objectives. And may the strongest power win. So it's all about power, various forms of power. What is your comprehensive national power? How do you increase that? And often it becomes a zero-sum game. So you gain at the expense of somebody else. There are economic tools that you use, mercantilism, for example.
What is that?
Mercantilism is essentially you grow your economic stature at the expense of everybody else. Beggar thy neighbor, using lawful economic means. For example, you import raw materials from a country, from all the countries around you, and you export finished goods. So you get raw materials very cheap because that's just resources, right? But the thing you export, finished goods, they're going to be of higher value. So over time, your GDP grows, everybody else's goes down.
Like what China is doing.
This is precisely what China has been doing for the past 20, 30 years, aided and abetted by the US unwittingly.
But it's good business at its core.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like there's some businessmen sitting in China who thought of this, and cool. If it helps geopolitics, great.
It's warfare by any means possible, by non-military, non-kinetic means. And that's how you can take over the world without firing a single shot. China is an extremely risk-averse country, which is something we don't get because they act so aggressive. They behave very aggressively. China has been historically an extraordinarily risk-averse country.
Like they don't want to take risks.
They do not want to take risks. This is something you will perceive only if you study history. So let me go into that. If you look at the past 2,000 years, 2,500 years of Chinese history, you must have heard of Sun Tzu, right? The great Chinese strategist.
Lao Tzu, Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu was the military strategist. He wrote a little booklet called The Art of War.
Yeah.
So he was a Chinese general. He fought many wars and battles and military campaigns. Who were his enemies? His opponents were 100% Chinese. The Chinese have always fought each other. Okay. See, we play all these video games and all. China is shown as this nation of great warriors. But whom are they fighting? They're fighting each other. It's always been warring states periods, one kingdom against another. Song dynasty against another dynasty. This dynasty against that dynasty. It's always been like that. And whenever China has expanded beyond its borders militarily, it's always been when its neighbors have been extremely weak and disunited and divided. 1962, India was a hopelessly weak country. India did not bother to have a proper professional military. I would not say it was unprofessional, but it was very badly underfunded and very badly run by the politicians. So they will attack you when you're weak. They will never dare to attack a powerful country ever. In the past 2,500 years of Chinese history, they have never attacked a powerful neighboring country ever. And whenever a powerful country has invaded China, it's always ended in disaster for China. The Mongols took over China like a hurricane. In the 7th or 8th century CE, the Tibetans captured Beijing. Tibet took over the Chinese empire. Nobody remembers that because China doesn't want you to remember this. Recently, the Japanese, a little island, took over the whole of China.
In World War II?
In World War II. In 1975, I believe, the Chinese tried to invade Vietnam. They suffered a crushing defeat. So China, historically, has been an extremely risk-averse country. They will only try to fight you if you are weak. And whenever a strong country invades China, it's always been a loss for China. And this is something that the propaganda out there will not let you see. But this is the truth about China. And the other thing about China is that historically, over the past 2000 years, China has been a Buddhist country, but its emperors have never been Buddhist. The governance has never been dharmic or Buddhist in nature. It's always been a combination of legalism and Confucianism. So Confucianism is a Chinese philosophy, which is an atheistic policy, and legalism is essentially ruled by whatever law you write, whatever laws you frame. So essentially, the emperor of China is seen as the son of God, and whatever laws he writes down are basically the word of God. And every citizen of China is expected to follow these rules, these laws, as if they are the word of God. So that is the doctrine of legalism. Confucianism is slightly softer. So over the past 2000 years, China has been ruled by a combination, mix and match of legalism and Confucianism. China has never been ruled in a Buddhist manner, in a dharmic manner. That's why China is administratively and politically a very, very different country from India. Its entire political doctrine is very different. So communism essentially is not that alien to China, because China has always been an authoritarian country for its own people and for the others. So communism is essentially nothing but a continuation of that. So the Chinese Communist Party is essentially a new imperial dynasty in China. The current emperor is Xi Jinping. He is now emperor for life. He has proclaimed himself president for life. Eventually, he will be overthrown by some political coup or whatever. Whenever it happens, a new emperor will come in place. So that is the true nature of China. None of the experts will tell you this, but this is what we are dealing with.